what can I say? The biggest piece of anime, like the biggest event in anime has just dropped, guys.
The biggest piece of anime.
The biggest piece of anime.
It's definitely the anime of all time.
Definitely in the history of anime. Bigger than Dragon Ball. Bigger than One Piece. Bigger than the Bible too.
Do you want to reiterate for people who perhaps don't know what the thumbnail is in case they've been living under a rock?
Yeah, so Attack on Titan just finished airing this week. So we thought we'd do a topical episode because we've all seen Attack on Titan, right? Right, surely.
I finished it.
I finished it.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh, okay.
Why are you looking at him?
Yeah,
You're like,
why?
Shit, I thought you were on my side.
No, I watched it.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Why?
Okay.
God, you had one job, Joey.
We gotta start off with this take.
You have one job.
I just don't care about Attack on Titan anymore.
Okay.
That's just like, okay, it might be because, like,
How far did you get?
I got up to the naming convention. The final season, part 1.
Okay.
Wait, is that the correct term? I don't even know what the fuck
Yes.
the title of it
Doesn't
is.
the final season have 3 parts?
The final season is 3
And then
parts.
there's, in the third part, there's 2 parts.
Oh yeah, okay. So that means I got up to
Yeah.
part 2. I
final
haven't
season,
watched
part 2.
I haven't watched the third season, part 1 or 2.
Just the 2 hour long.
The 2 hour long ones. Yeah, I
Okay.
got up to there.
So you're basically just got everything up to the ending bit.
Yeah.
So you've only got like 2.5 hours of Attack on Titan left to go, and
Yeah.
you don't have any interest in finishing it?
I'll get to it eventually, I guess, but I'm not in a rush.
All right. So I'm going to say, like, normally we have like a spoiler warning or something, but normally we try to avoid spoilers, but I'm pretty sure we can't discuss all of this without spoiling.
Are we discussing it? I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, if we do spoilers, people are going to skip right in the start of the episode. So we'll save a little bit of the spoilers for later.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
he's
guess.
thinking of the metagame.
Yeah, because if YouTube's gonna hate this episode if we do that.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll give you guys a warning when we get
when
to
we
that.
actually get to the ending.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I feel like I watched it. I did watch the ending just out of like commitment. I'm like, well, I'm this far in. I should just finish.
Well,
it.
I mean, what? It was a 10-year run, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
I've
it's
been
been
watching
10
it
years.
since it came out. So
Yeah.
Damn,
2013.
2013.
it really was this. It really is like an end of an era, because I think Attack on Titan really kind of grew up with the medium. It was kind of like that first big push of like, oh, anime is like gone from this little niche thing to something that can kind of like meet mainstream culture.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like it kind of, to me, Attack on Titan signified that show from anime growing from something that was a bit more niche to something that now is even like arguably mainstream.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
Yeah, I think it's very mainstream, and even people who don't like anime are like, oh, I know Attack on Titan.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember because I think I got into anime in like 2012, 2011.
Yeah.
And then Attack on Titan was the one that was really big.
Yeah.
And before that, I actually didn't watch subs. I was like, no, I'm a dub only guy. I don't want to read shit. But Attack on Titan didn't have a dub for a very long time, and I was like, well, shit, I gotta watch.
And
the
then
show.
when
Yeah.
the dub came out, it was an amazing dub.
I think the dub is actually pretty good. I think the dub is
The dub, I've watched both the sub and the dub. And the dub was actually, for the most part, pretty damn good.
I mean, when I think of the dub, I think of the Armin scream.
yeah. Well, that was kind of iconic.
Which
for
was
being
iconic.
interesting.
I don't remember this one.
You don't remember
It
it?
was like
No.
a big meme.
It was a huge meme of the dub Armin scream of like, I think it was like episode 2 or 3 of season 1. Right. When like the first big, like, I guess,
I remember this, yeah.
twist happens.
Right.
With Eren. And Armin does this scream, and in the Japanese one, it's very powerful. And then the dub came out, and it got memed to absolute
Alright,
shit.
pull it up.
Pull it up.
Okay, I
Pull it up.
gotta hear this.
I'm surprised you haven't seen this.
Just Armin scream dub.
Just Armin screen dub.
Armin scream dub.
I mean, like, while we're pulling this up, I mean, I've watched all of the dub
yeah.
except for the final season of the
Wait,
dub.
really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa, you watched a lot of it.
I've rewatched Attack on Titan quite a few times.
Well, it's is it Matthew Mercer who plays Levi?
I can't remember.
I mean, it makes
Well,
sense.
I
Yeah.
feel like it is. I feel like I'm
It
crazy.
works if it's not him.
Right, go to the end. Go to the end. Just the scream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah, right there.
Sorry. Okay.
So it's this part. That scream was the meme.
Okay.
It sounds like R2D2.
It's very Crash Bandicoot. A little bit of nature. Yeah,
I don't think it was necessarily bad. It was just like
It's very funny out of context.
yeah.
I'm also biased. I think because J. Michael Tatum is he's Irwin. I think he crushes it now.
No, I think Irwin.
He crushed it in everything.
I think Irwin was actually my favorite performance from the dub.
really
Irwin completely. I didn't know it was J. Michael Tatum.
Yeah,
Makes
right.
a lot of sense. I think my biggest problem with the dub, where I would recommend the sub over the dub, was unfortunately Bryce Papenbrook's portrayal of Eren. Because I think he does really good in season 1, but there are some kind of like moments.
It matures a lot as the series goes on.
Yeah. There were some moments where I think he's like a really talented voice actor, but I think he got casted at a time where he was getting casted as
He's
every.
He was Kirito. As
Yeah,
well.
he was Kirito as like every
okay.
edgy kind of like protagonist.
Yeah, he did get a lot.
And so I think, he does really, really good in other roles. And there was like a certain few moments where I just didn't think he hit the same like emotional beats as other people could have done if they had been casted as Eren. I think the scene that really sold it for me was Eren's breakdown in the end of season 2, where I remember watching it and I was just like, ooh, this is not hitting that same emotional beat that the original voice actor did. Who's the original voice actor again? Kajiyuki did. I mean, Kajiyuki's goated anyway.
Kajiyuki's a god, though.
Kajiyuki's a god.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was something that I didn't think matched up to the original, and it was also a bit weird seeing. I saw a little bit of the beginning of season 4, or like the final season, and he still had a very similar voice, and I heard he's improved that for like later parts of the final season, but it just felt very off. Because so I would actually genuinely, I've watched both, and I would genuinely recommend the sub over the dub. This isn't like a
Not
stain
to say
against
the
the
dub is bad,
Not
though.
to say
Yeah.
the dub was bad.
Sure.
Yeah, but then if for some reason you ever say like, oh, I prefer the dub, and people should be like, you can't appreciate the Japanese. It's like
You're not weeb enough.
What are you talking about? Like, hey, I'm fluent in this language, and I think it sounds good in this language sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
happy to admit when it sounds.
It's personal
good,
preference
you know?
at the end of the day. There's no right or wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Irwin. I didn't know it was J. Michael Tatum, but I actually preferred just slightly, because both are like such goated performances. But holy shit, hearing his speech in English, I was like, God, this hit different, man. I'm ready to go to war right now.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, I'm biased.
Yeah.
Michael's such a great actor in general, so it's. I mean, I actually like being around him because he's always the way he talks about acting is like, man, I wish my brain just worked like this about acting. Like, there's just such a passion for it.
Well,
that-
he's our boy, you know. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to be biased towards our boys.
Yeah.
He's very
Sure.
talented. Anyway, I remember the dub didn't come out for ages, so I got into the sub because I wanted to watch it, and everyone was talking about it, and it was. The fandom back then was so interesting for Attack on Titan.
Is it not interesting now?
But it is, but it was just so like, it was so bizarre how it was at a time where I felt that back then in the English fandom, I feel like manga readers were like a huge minority.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh, for sure.
no one read manga much, and when you were to interact with people, they'd only ever, it was just a given that you were like, oh, you watched only the anime.
Yeah.
I seldom met people who had read the manga. So
Yeah,
I
it was
remember
a very, very small vocal
Yeah.
minority,
Yeah.
I think. Whereas, like, it is still, I think, it is today, but I think that amount has just increased a lot more because of people just constantly being like, the manga's better, the manga's
I was in
better.
a bunch of like fan stuff when I was way younger about like of people, I guess, doing their own audio productions of their own made up stories in the universe, and I was like, okay,
Right.
yeah, sure, I'll do this. I'll do it. Fuck it. So I did stuff like that, but Attack on Titan. Otherwise, I said this earlier, and this is why you wanted to talk about it because you got annoyed by my comments. I felt like, although I wanted to finish this journey because I felt like it kind of been my entire adult life was Attack on Titan. I was like,
Yeah.
I should watch it. The final season part 2, I was kind of bored.
I can't believe. I can't. I like genuinely.
Can we all agree that the nomenclature? I've been wanting to use that word for so long. Of the nomenclature of the Attack on Titan series.
What does that mean?
Oh, well gone. Wow.
Go on, intellectual.
Well,
go on,
it
please
means that
explain
like
it.
the groups, the naming, like how you name a certain group of things. And
Nomen as in name.
yeah.
Okay.
And the way they've named the series, fucking awful. Absolutely the worst naming job in history of shows.
I think that was my problem with especially the final season is that the naming convention is just so confusing.
I actually think it's taken away from the series.
Yeah, I think it has as well, to be honest. And I think that's why I just kind of lost interest because I'm like, they're not fucking taking this seriously.
This is not a take I'm hearing right now. This is not
okay. This is no bearing on the show. Can I just say this in general? It is absolutely fucking confusing to try and keep track on certain places to watch this where you're like, wait, which fucking one am I on again? Why do they all have different
You know it's
cover
bad
art?
when like my Photoshop files are named better. You know? Like it's
the Xbox Series One X looks like a better naming system as opposed to this shit.
This is my message to Fate fans that say I overcomplicate this shit. If these guys can't follow along with the naming conventions in Attack on Titan,
this is the exact,
this
is the exact same reason.
Yeah, it
this
is
the
dumb.
exact
It is
same
dumb.
reason why a lot of people struggle to get into Fate as well, because they look at a title and they go, I don't know where this is canonically speaking, so I'm not even going to bother starting to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
and Attack on Titan just fumbled the bag at the end, in my opinion, to the point where like I can't take this shit seriously anymore. These naming conventions are garbage.
That has no fucking bearing
No,
on the show.
it has no bearing on the show. But personally, I was like,
that shit is annoying as fuck.
It's annoying as fuck.
It is nothing to do with like the
This
actual
is like
show.
the bit. I thought you were coming out with the big guns.
Okay, I will, but we have to recognize that they fucked up with naming this show for some goddamn reason.
You can be the biggest Attack on Titan fan, and every Attack on Titan fan will agree the naming convention is ass.
Okay, it's not
horrendous.
It's not optimized, but let's talk to like Kingdom Hearts fans for like a second here and just
another reason why people don't take that shit seriously because they look at these naming conventions and same with fucking Monogatari. Any series that has the most like non-secular and sequential naming system, people from the outside look at it and go, what the fuck is this? How am I supposed to get into this?
I will say, seeing that naming system slowly being revealed and rolled out, it did make me kind of like lose confidence a bit in the production. So I'm like, how are you guys fumbling this so badly? Like there is no goddamn reason why there should be final season part 1, part 2, part 3. That is insane. What actually happened for this fuck? Because there has to be a fuck.
Look up the word final in the dictionary.
There has to have been a fuck up in a way that makes me that made me nervous initially when it was coming out.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what is happening behind the scenes?
I'm gonna defend it for now.
Go for it.
Because I believe that this is all based on my pure feeling and speculation and kind of like the vibe I get.
Yeah.
Now being, having talked to a lot of anime studios and stuff like that, I'm sure same with you, Joey.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm sure they had a rough schedule to begin with when like Mappa got signed on. And then they were like, wait a minute, we actually want to take time to make this fucking slap. So the reason I think this is because you look at the difference in quality from Attack on Titan final season part 1 to everything that came after it. Yeah. Like there is such a huge jump in animation quality. It's like not even comparable.
Oh yeah, I know.
And I think that came about because Mappa were like, let's slow things down and let's actually take time to make the finale something that is worthy of the lineage of Attack on Titan. And you know what? If we get a bit of name fuckery, we can meme about it, all right? But like, considering the final product we got, I think it was more than fucking worth the wait.
I would have been happy to wait even longer as long as we all just got it in one cleanly wrapped packaging. Like, I feel like the fact that they released these final seasons in so many different parts just goes to show that like, well, okay, but you could have, instead of just releasing it, and splitting it up into 15 different fucking parts and confusing everybody, why couldn't you have just pushed everything back and just given it to us all in one go? We're okay with waiting for you guys to, work your magic with the animation and the production and everything. Yeah. That's fine. We've already been waiting 7-8 years at this point.
Yeah.
Right, for it to finish. So it's like, why couldn't they have just pushed that all back to the point where, okay, here we go. Here is the final season, all in one nicely wrapped up bag.
I agree.
And here you go.
We also have recognized in the past that, for example, Netflix kind of killed all hype of JoJo. The way that they released it. So, the way you release a series does matter. As much as like it shouldn't have any bearing on the show.
Yeah.
A large part about consuming media is the surrounding hype. Are you into that? Are you like following along with people. Like that matters a lot to just consuming media in general.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I think that it did kind of detract a little bit from the series in a slight way. Nothing meaningful, of course, but it did add an extra step where I felt like online generally people just cared less about the show.
I definitely agree. I don't know what the creative decision between doing the last finale in like 2 mega hour, an hour and a half long episodes. There's enough material there for a season. You know, there's maybe not like a full core 12 episode, but definitely like a strong 9 episode like season.
I am really shocked that the final 2 parts weren't just a movie. Genuinely, I kind of
Did I not call this?
You said that
years ago?
Yeah, I think we all had a feeling that they might try it.
I was like, they're gonna end it with like movie length episodes,
and especially with
I was right.
Them being essentially one pretty long movie. I'm kind of surprised they didn't try and release it theatrically.
Yeah. You'd think they'd look at Jujutsu Kaisen or like Demon Slayer and take that as a hint, right?
It was like the worst parts of both worlds. You know, you didn't get the hype of releasing it as like a full 9 episode season for like the hype to build up, but you also didn't get the hype of having it be a theatrical release, which
and then you cut it in half, and separate it over the course of a year.
After watching it, this could definitely, with like the quality they had this could have definitely been a movie. You know, and there are some like moments.
I would have loved to watch this in the theater.
Oh, it would have been incredible. This is the one time when I'm like, end it with the movie. You clearly want to end it off with the bang. If you don't want to split it up into like episodics, like a final 3rd season. So just put it as a movie. But for some reason, they released it as 2 long episodes that just dropped at random intervals in the year. And I'm like, that you're doing everything you can to like kill the hype of this finale.
And that's exactly what it did for me. It killed the hype for me. Where I got to the point where I'm just like, I'll get to it eventually, I guess, but I'm not like frothing at the mouth to finish it at the same time.
Do you want to finish it?
I do. Well, yeah, because obviously I actually do, because like, you know, again, like as Connor said, like, you know, we've all been sticking through with this series for like 10 years, right? And, you know, it's a great fucking show. I love the show. But like, it's just, again, the release order and the way that they fumbled the bag on that, personally speaking, it just kind of lost the hype for me. And I'm just like, I mean, I'll get to it eventually, I guess, but like, I'm not like gagging to like finish it.